Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. So earlier on this year, I bought these arches, and I posted a couple of posts on social media to say, look at these arches, and a few people went and bought them. And I'd like to apologise for advertising these arches because they're absolutely pathetic. I'll show you why. On this arch, I've had runner beans climbing up one side, and I had a cucumber plant climbing up the other side. And as you can see, they're buried into the ground. They come with really flimsy pegs that are about 6 inches long that you can put, that you're supposed to be able to dig into the ground, and it's supposed to support it. Now I've buried that quite deep. I've buried the 6 inches, and plus I've buried almost up to the first rung. Even then, it's still really flimsy, and look at that, absolutely pathetic. We had some winds a few days ago. They weren't very strong. They were a little bit, they were average. We haven't even come into the real windy season yet. And look what's happened. Look at the state of this arch. It's had a tiny little bit of wind, and it's just completely collapsed. This has got my pointed gourd climbing up it. Now I'm going to have to either cut my pointed gourd vine down, and it's still in full production, it'll keep producing for another month yet, or I'm going to have to try and fix this arch and give it some additional support to try and get it to work, or try and save my pointed gourd plant. But it's absolutely pathetic. I'm really disappointed that they're selling these sorts of things. I mean, I bought it because I thought it was a bargain, and the proof is that not always in gardening these people are selling bargains and they're not actually coming out to what they're supposed to do. This is a warning to other people who might go out and buy these. I mean, I went and bought 5 because I thought I've got a real bargain. I asked someone else, what do they think of them? They said they're really good, and this is the state of them. I wish I'd have spoken to a few more people and taken a bit more advice. So this is a warning to you guys, really, that these arches, even though they're cheap for a reason, because they're absolutely rubbish. Now I've got to somehow fix this and allow access to this greenhouse, because at the moment we haven't even got access to this greenhouse. It's causing a danger because my mum can't climb over this. So let me see if I can try and lift it up and pull it back to where it's supposed to be. I mean, it's heavy. But it's completely snapped off that base there. And you can see how they're really poorly made. So if anyone is going to buy these things, I will tell you, don't buy them. It's a shame because it's a reputable shop that sells them, and I'm really disappointed by them. Khadija, can you come here, sweetheart?
Kind of wobbly.
There's on that bench there, the 2 shorter pieces of wood, grab them. It's absolutely mangled from all over the place.
Why don't you move that somewhere else then?
I mean, even if I put it up with some supports, it's snapped there. It snaps everywhere. It's absolutely horrible, this thing.
And
So,
the green ones are good.
no, I'm not. I thought I'd be able to fix it, you know, put some supports up and fix it, but it's not going to work. You can see how horrible the connections are. They're completely broken and completely mangled, other than take this thing down, because it's not going to be safe otherwise. I'm really disappointed because plant here that would keep producing for at least another month. I mean, this has given me so much vegetables, it's produced so well. So my only option is, I suppose, pull it over this side. It's not safe at all, it's a complete mess. It's just, I mean, just as I'm holding it, it's falling apart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fling it over that side. Oh. See, I've buried a fair amount of it in the ground. I don't want to waste this plant. I've got some dwarf sunflowers just about blooming now, and I've still got daisies that are good under here. So I don't want to lose those, but I'm afraid I'm going to have to, just to try and save this plant, because look, you can see it's full of fruit. It's absolutely chock full of fruit. We can get picking these, but this will keep producing for at least another month. They're really productive plants. So it's really disappointing that this arch has done this to me. I apologise to those that went out and bought these things because I bought them, and they're really pathetic. They're really pathetic. So if these retailers want to keep selling this stuff, I mean, this is one of the things that these retailers could be doing to limit the use of one-time waste. I know they want to make profits and that's what they're about, but if they want to save the environment, because there's a load of plastic here and a load of metal that's just gone to waste now, and for me, this kind of stuff, I can't even put it to a second use. So a lot of it is just going to, it's made in such a way that it's not going to be, you know, it's not going to be recyclable for me. So I'm going to use that, I'm going to just leave that there for now, just so I save this plant. And I can keep picking off it. You can see, you can just see how productive it is. They're just falling off. There's that many on it. It's really disappointing. At a time when the world is suffering from plastic being in everything, I mean, these are plastic coated pipes, right? And they should have lasted a lot longer than this. I mean, it's not even lasted me a full season. First gust of wind and they're down. And it wasn't even a strong wind. I can't tell you how angry I am with the manufacturers that are putting these things out and putting them out into the market, and how useless they are. Gardeners can't even get a season out of them. They're really, I mean, so don't go out and buy these. They're really pathetic. They're really useless. Save your money. Let me show you something that I made for absolutely free. So look here. Look at this arch here. I've made this for absolutely free. I got a load of wood that someone was throwing out in their skip, and it's old roofing lats, completely free. I brought it home, I made this trellis, and this is going to last me at least 10 years. That thing didn't even last me 6 months. It's really, really poor. It's really poor for the consumers. I'm going to send this off to Wilco's, and I'm going to send this off to the manufacturer and say, look, this is what you're producing and this is the kind of stuff that you're selling. It's really shameful. You shouldn't be selling something that's going to take our money and then put it to waste. It's not an easy time out there for people at the moment. Every penny counts. Garden arches are expensive things. They add character to your garden. They add a bit of interest to your garden. So naturally, a lot of people want these. And because not everyone can afford to go out and buy a really good quality thing, they'll buy these sorts of things, which is exactly what I did. And it's just a complete waste of money. So don't buy it. It's absolutely pathetic. So there's my little warning and my apology to those people that did go out and buy these things. So I'm going to leave it there for this one. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.